Hey, what's up? It's Comic 95, the Savior. So for this video, I want to give you guys some advice to basically encourage those of you that are having trouble finding a full-time job, as well as to give some advice for those of you that have full-time jobs but you don't necessarily love your line of work. Now, I'm not talking about switching fields, but more so switching your job per se in Japan. So, I want to tell you guys why having a full-time job here is not really all it's cracked up to be, and this is the reason why. So long story short, you're actually calming yourself. So full-time teachers, I actually do work full-time, but I have other jobs too, and this is what I want you guys to do too. Full-time teachers, it seems great. There's pros and cons. So the biggest pro is obviously you can say that you work full-time, right? It allows you to have, or biggest pros I should say, it allows you to legally work in Japan because you do need a visa sponsor, and this is the easiest way to get a work visa sponsor is to have a full-time teaching job, right? And on top of that, you have a stable income. You know that every month you're going to get $2,000 or you're going to get $2,500. You don't have to guess how much you're going to make. You don't have to worry about how many students you have. Everything is pretty much handled for you. It looks nice to say on your resume. Freelancing or being an entrepreneur in Japan is not like how it is in America. I'll make a separate video that talks about that in more detail. But long story short, it's kind of embarrassing. So like in America, saying that you're an entrepreneur, people think, oh wow, you're smart, you have money. At least I think most people do. In Japan, it's not really brag worthy. Like people don't talk about having their own business unless it's successful. So the only time somebody will call themselves entrepreneur is if they already have an established business already making lots of money. You don't say that you're an entrepreneur when you have 2 students. So anyway, long story short, yeah, there's stability with a full-time job, but do not be fooled. If you really do the math, your full-time job is really only paying you somewhere between about $10 to $15 an hour. You're cheating yourself and you're working way more hours for way less money before taxes. So after you get the crap taxed out of you, they take away, your allowances and put money aside for this and pay your insurance. You're getting paid even less than that. So this is a really great reason why you should try to supplement your income by finding yourself not only a part-time job, preferably, you want to do that too, but also considering getting your own students. So to help you get a better idea of that, if you were to work part-time, a lot of part-time jobs actually pay you about $20 to as much as $27 or more an hour. You can get paid as much as $30 an hour. So generally you'll get paid about $20 for each hour of work that you do. And it might sound like nothing, but if you actually think about it, if you do the math, if you're, getting paid $2,000, $2,500, a month, and you're working 40 plus hours a week, you're getting paid even less than that. So you're actually going to make a lot more if you were to, work this part-time job for the same amount of hours. So you're putting in less work and getting more money considering the hours that you work, if you get what I'm saying. So it actually pays more to have a part-time job. Part-time jobs are also more likely to hire those of you that are not native speakers. Now the downside to part-time work is they cannot sponsor a visa unless you are working enough hours or they're paying you enough money, because you have to make at least $2,000 in order for them to be able to sponsor a work visa, and of course the company has to be willing to do this. Do keep in mind that companies oftentimes don't sponsor visas for 2 different reasons. One, they have pretty much, done as I said, Japan is notorious for. They group all, they group all foreigners together, and if one person, screws them over by, letting them sponsor their visa, they'll never do it again. They'll be like, nope, we know you're gonna quit, we don't trust you. So they're afraid that you're going to leave or that you're going to, get the visa and then go. And then of course, number 2, they're behind on their taxes. They're hiding stuff. They pay people under the table. They know they have staff working illegally at their company, and thus they obviously are not going to sponsor your visa because they have to give over their personal financial documents of their, school to immigration, which is the Japanese government. They're not trying to get in trouble, get fined, sued, shut down to sponsor your visa. So be very wary about companies that say that they cannot help you renew your visa and that do not sponsor them from the start. It's an investment and chance they need to be willing to take with you if they want you to be a teacher. So let me give you an example. If you're making on the higher end of teaching salaries in Tokyo, you're probably getting about $2,500. So we're gonna talk in US dollars since most of you guys watching my videos are foreigners, and while you might not necessarily be an American, this is the currency that I'm most familiar with besides yen. And so to make this more relatable and understandable, we're going to use US dollars. So you're basically going to get about 2,500 US dollars a month on the higher end of teaching in Tokyo, unless you're with the JET program or something. But let's stay on topic. So if you're getting $2,500 a month, let's see, that is about, divided by 4. I'm sorry, you guys, I suck at math. I want to say that's like $600 plus dollars a week. Let's say about 620. 625. I'm probably wrong. You get what I'm saying. Something in the low $600 range per week. That's like Walmart money. But this is Japan, so this is a normal salary. So with that said and done, you're getting paid that much. You divide that by the 40 hours that you're working per week, you're basically getting less than $16 an hour. Whereas if you're working part-time, you're actually getting paid as much as $10 or $11 more per hour. But at the bare minimum, most companies, especially if you're a native English speaker, you have experience and preferably a relevant degree. Keep in mind, you guys, see, a lot of you guys don't know what a relevant degree is. No, you don't need to have a relevant degree. Being a native speaker, being young, cute, whatever, is enough to do it. But of course, if you have, obviously, relevancy, especially in Tokyo, Tokyo is more competitive. You really want a relevant degree there. Having a degree in something like business, psychology, whatever, it's a good degree to have maybe in America. It has nothing to do with being a teacher in Japan though. So that's not a relevant degree. A relevant degree is something that deals with education, music, something that deals with kids and teaching and learning. None of that stuff has to do with children. So that's not relevant. But the good thing is, preferably you are a native English speaker, you're American, you speak English, you're not ignorant. So yeah, that's enough by itself. So long story short, you're getting paid at least about $4 to $5 more while doing significantly less work. If you can just get 5 of your own private students and you were to charge $30 an hour, that will give you the amount that you make in 1 week for working 40 hours in just 5. Not even half of those hours. Just work 5 extra hours, or you can make it even less. Let's say you do lessons for 45 minutes, but I wouldn't recommend that. Some people do. Let's say you do, 45 minutes or 1 hour, $30 an hour. You do 5 lessons per week. You've already made about $600 right there in just one, not in 1 week, you know what I mean? At the end of the month, just by doing 5 lessons. That's at the end of the week. The end of the month, just by doing 5 lessons. That is like rent money. That's more than my rent where I'm living right now. But if you're in Tokyo, that's almost your entire rent. All you did was work an additional 5 hours every week. You can do it 1 hour a day after work. You can do it all in one Saturday, whatever. It's not that hard to get private students, might I add. And even if you were to charge less, okay, charge less. Still, just work 10 hours then, 10 additional hours. And on top of that, it is not as stressful either because you are in control of who you teach, where you teach, how long you teach, and what you charge. And normally you also get free food, free drinks, and a fun conversation, and a little bit of cultural exchange too. Your student will, teach you some stuff, and you might speak a little bit of Japanese with them. So it's a fun and good time, and you'll also get to see and go to new locations, and you can potentially make new friends. You guys saw my video. I went to a freaking exclusive fashion show with one of my students that I literally just met like a week ago. He invited me to a fashion show. He had no one to go with, had an extra ticket. It was by invite only. I got to see chemistry for free. I didn't pay anything. Really nice. I got free food once again. Everything was amazing. This is all for me, having a private student one time. Just met the guy. So you will have plenty of, experiences similar to this. I've gotten free karaoke, I've gotten birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, etc. All kind of stuff by working additional jobs, and not just settling with my full-time job or whatever. So get private students, get a part-time job, get as much extra income as possible. So anyway, long story short, just by having 5 students every week for 4 weeks, that is $600 right there. That's almost your entire rent if you're in Tokyo. If you're outside of Tokyo, that's probably 2 of your rents. You've already covered your rent just by working 5 hours and charging $30. That's it. And really, you're getting even more than that, because some students will pay you extra for your transportation. They won't mind. You might have some cheap students that are like, oh, like it doesn't include that. That's up to you what you choose to do. But yeah, keep that in mind. So even if you were to charge less, let's say that you charge $15 an hour. Okay, make up for that by having additional students. You can do group lessons too. So of course you have to charge a more discounted rate. Nobody's going to pay $30. Or no smart person will pay you $30 for a group lesson. But you get what I'm saying. So figure it out, do the math. Just really consider having private lessons. And beyond just doing private lessons, consider getting a part-time job. You might not find any purpose in it and be like, why am I working a part-time job when I already have a full-time job? Your full-time job is cheating you. You have stability, it looks nice on paper, and they're sponsoring your visa, so you do have to stay with them. But you're ultimately not making as much money and using your time to the best of your ability if you are not working a part-time job and or teaching your own students. Now, I ain't responsible for what happens to you as far as legal things go, but I will be totally honest. Most companies here do tell you that you're only supposed to work for their company, but nobody follows that crap here, and they can't really enforce it. This is their own personal thing. Immigration doesn't require this. Your job tells you this inside the contract. They tell you a lot of BS inside the contract that doesn't get followed. Don't go for that crap. Do what you want to do. If you want to be a goody-goody two-shoe and you want to make less money, go ahead. By all means, don't work an extra job. But I am telling you, nobody follows that crap. For example, one of my jobs actually tells me not to work other jobs. My other 2 jobs, they don't care. And then technically I have a 4th one because I work for myself too. I teach my own private students. So I highly suggest that you do that. You will make a lot more money. By me doing everything that I'm telling you guys right now, I make over $5,000 every month, which is nothing. But in Japan, that's a lot of money just by working my 1 full-time job. I have 2 part-time jobs, and I teach my own private students. And I don't even do a lot of extra hours, you guys. I'm literally just working like a couple to, no more than 4 extra hours every single day. And I don't work normally on Sunday, but I teach my own private students, and depending on when they want lessons, I do sometimes do Sunday lessons, but that's by choice and not by force. So 3 things that I want you to take away from this is you're going to, 1, make a lot more money if you are, working extra jobs, doing part-time work, and having your own students. It's not a bad or embarrassing thing. Don't feel bad if you can't find a full-time job. And if you have a full-time job, don't cheat yourself. Why not go out and, work more, make more money? You're not being paid that much if you're a salaried worker. They're not paying you a salary because they love you and they think that you deserve more money. They're paying you a salary so that they can save money themselves. They're making more money by paying you less. You think you're getting a lot of money. It's like, oh my God, wow, I'm getting $3,000 a month, 300,000 yen. But really, the joke's on you, because in actuality, you're really just making about $15, $20 an hour. Whereas a part-time, worker that's from India or something is getting paid $25 an hour, and they're not even a native speaker. Now, sure, they might not have a full-time job, and they have to switch between different companies, but it ultimately pays more. And in my experience, I find that it's a stress reliever to switch companies. You go a lot crazier when you're at the same place every day, dealing with the same crap. You guys have heard my side of things, side of my story, whatever, about how I feel about my job. I feel like the only reason why I have remained sane is because I don't stay at the same place all day. I do switch and I go to other places. It is very stressful to be at a company that you don't like all day, every day, all you have, and then still come home with practically no money. I'm grateful that I do not have children and I don't have a spouse, but if you are someone that does, you might find it even more worth it to do so. Remember, you can even do lessons at your home. Japan is not so dangerous and crazy like how it is in America. It's actually totally safe to do that, but I would recommend that you be very careful and screen your students, because you don't want somebody crazy knowing your address. I don't personally recommend it, but if you are someone that has a big enough place and your place is secure enough and you're married and you feel like you have more protection, by all means, go for it. So yeah, that's that. And to be totally honest, you would normally deal with creepy students, especially if they're paying you paying for your information through sites such as Hello Sensei, which is why I love that website. I have an entire playlist that teaches you how to conduct your own English lessons, and I will make blog posts soon that will go into more detail and walk you step by step to do it. It seems really simple and straightforward, but to be totally honest, there's a lot more to it than you think, and a lot of people think that they're good teachers and they really suck at doing private lessons. Long story short, you need to be on time. You do need to dress somewhat professional. You don't want to embarrass your student. And on top of that, the biggest thing that I see people not do, you have to lead the conversation. You are not supposed to sit there and wait for your student to do all the talking and come with workbooks. Some of them do, but a lot of them will not, and they will also be shy. You want to show them that you're their friend and that they can trust you, that they can be comfortable around you. Remember, they are paying you for the lesson. First impressions are lasting impressions, and if they don't get a good vibe from you, you seem to be a lazy teacher, you seem to be ignorant, you are too loud, you're embarrassing them, you don't seem prepared, qualified, educated, they will not reschedule with you again unless they were never serious about learning English and they just wanted arm candy, eye candy, or to say that they had a lesson, with this foreigner, this hot white guy, or whatever girl, things like that. And you do come across creeps like that. But for the most part, people will not reschedule a lesson with you again. I have personally been through this before. When I first got started, I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, oh, I'm going to school to be a teacher. I'm a native speaker. I'm young. I'm cute. Nope. People that, are serious, they will not reschedule with you again, no matter how cute you are, no matter how much they like you. They'll ask for your Instagram and line, which I've had plenty of students do that. And it's like, how are you going to follow me on Instagram? You're going to add me online and then never book a lesson with me again because I suck as a teacher. So I'm giving you guys advice to avoid being like me. Take it seriously. So that is that. Again, do not settle for just working full time. You're getting paid less if you actually do the math. And 2, if you are working full time, remember, this is sponsoring your visa. And unless you are married or have permanent residency, you do need to stay with your company unless you choose to open up your own school and, sponsor your own visa and have your own business, etc. You need to keep a full-time job. So just consider working a part-time job in addition to your full-time job. It doesn't have to take up every day, all day. You can just do a job on Saturday morning. You can do a job that's just Friday evening, whatever. There is always a company that will work around your schedule. There's so many companies that you can apply to. There's cafes, there's conversation schools. There's so much stuff you can do. You will also get great experience by obviously dealing with an array of students that have different needs. You have people that need help with writing papers, with homework, with talking to, business people from overseas, all types of crazy things you would have never imagined people needing help with. It's really a rewarding experience for you. It's fun. It's a cultural and language exchange. You can add it to your resume that you have experience teaching adults if you've never done that. So there's a lot to do. And you'll have, people that want their students, so their kids, to get lessons with you too. I had a woman that was, she was old enough to be my mother. She was like in her late 40s. She liked me so much after I helped her with her homework. She then wanted me to do lessons for her high schooler. And then she told her friend about me. So I started doing lessons for her friend. And then her friend told her friend. And then I had all of these students back when I was in Tokyo. And God, I miss those students. So you'll get really close to them. I'm still friends with some of my students in real life. Like I email them and I keep up with them. And sometimes we chat online, like we'll video chat. I absolutely love those students to death. So you'll make some really great relationships from having private students as well. Again, do not underestimate part-time jobs or teaching your own students. It seems like it's nothing, like it's chump change. You're like, oh, it's just a few hours. But look at how much more you're being paid for those few hours of work. You're doing less work. It's less stressful, and you get paid more by the hour for the little work that you're doing. It's a supplemental income. It's extra money. You can use it for your savings, for vacation, for entertainment, for date nights, for travel throughout Japan, all types of different stuff. Sure, you're going to lose out on some of your free time, but again, you'll have more time in the future. So make an investment now for your future. And again, don't stress if you're having trouble finding a full-time job. Part-time jobs, private students will make you a lot more if you're serious about it. Remember, all you need is 5 students a week for $30 an hour. That's $600 a month. If you can get 10 students, that's even more. Now you're looking at $1,200 a month. And it just keeps going on from there. So, if you're serious about this, you can make so much money teaching English in Japan. Do not limit yourself. You don't have to be a native speaker to get students. There are other opportunities for you, like this. Teach your own students, get a part-time job, If you are a native speaker, even better. Why not get a part-time job and teach your own students as well? Now you have 3 jobs, way more income, the money will build up fast, you can do all kinds of stuff. I have so many plans for next year. I'm planning to go to different countries, and I can't wait to actually use my money for that. And I have a really, really big surprise that I plan to share here on my YouTube channel. So that is that. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope that it encouraged you. If you have any questions about getting started with teaching your own students, or looking for a part-time job, or anything else about work in Japan, please leave a comment down below, and I would try to make another video to answer your question, or I will answer it in the comments. Other than that, if you could please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. I also have an Instagram and Twitter, as well as a Snapchat account and a Facebook page. So if you can like and follow those too, I would greatly appreciate that as well. As always, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.